Did I plant my trees in the right spot? This is a perfect example of what this video is about. I have a Miami soursop tree there. I have my lemon meringue here. There's absolutely no room for that M4 to grow the way it should grow. You're just creating a lot of work for yourself when you do this high density gardening. I've always said if I go past the house and I see people with fruit on the floor like this, I'm like, why do they let that go to waste? But it's so much and the tree is still loaded. What an amazing fruit. Tastes excellent. It gives abundantly. Every year is like this. When I originally planted this, I had a pineapple pleasure tree in the middle there. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? There's no way that that would have grown successfully. Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and we are going to take a look around my yard today. My trees are growing, and as they're growing, what I've decided is, did I plant my trees in the right spot? Because everything looks like the right spot when you're just first putting them in because it looks like you have enough space, but as they start growing, perhaps you don't have enough space. And I have a few more trees that I have that are not yet in the ground, and I'm still looking for more space. Now, I know I've said this before that I'm not buying any more trees, but I literally don't have more space for more trees. Now I'm in the process of trying to find space. What trees am I going to take out? What do I regret? What have I done? So I just want to show you a little of this today. But is it a wise idea to plant those trees together from the begin with the idea or just knowing one day you might have to take some of them out? And yes and no. I mean, you're going to get fruit for some years on some of those trees. So it's not a bad idea, but you're creating more work for yourself in the future knowing you're going to have to take these trees out. And as these trees are growing, I just want to give you some feedback. So sit back and enjoy this video and share your views of the things I'm saying to help others. And that's why I do this, to help others learn about growing, not make the same mistakes I've made, and to just really enjoy growing fruit trees. So here we go. Okay, this is currently a view of my yard, and what they call high intensity gardening or just gardening pretty close together is something I've done, and this is why I'm such an advocate of being careful how close you plant stuff together. These two trees right here are about 12 feet apart, and they are lemon meringue mangoes. Maybe 13 feet. Lemon meringue mangoes. And if you look at them, I've been cutting them back every single year. I cut them back. And as a matter of fact, I cut them back too much last year, and they didn't even get many mangoes this year. There's one up there. There's maybe this one got about 6 or 7. I actually see one ripe one I'm going to pick now. This one didn't get more than a couple. But I cut them back too much last year, lesson learned. And I tried last year to like not cut that part and just cut the middle part where they were touching. Regardless, you got to let some trees grow, because if you cut them back every year too much, they're not going to grow. And if you don't cut them back too much, they're going to grow too big where they're too close. It creates an issue. So keep that in mind, everybody. Now this here is a seedling tree. This is a seedling of a jackfruit. Now seedlings tend to grow up straight, and which is a good thing, because this tree I originally had another jackfruit here that wasn't doing much, and I took it out. There's no way another tree would be able to fit here, knowing that that mango tree is that close. The only reason this one's doing okay is because it's a seedling tree to go straight up. But it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. Where I'm actually standing is, there's nothing here, and I left this open because I had my pumpkin mamey here, and to my disappointment, it was one pumpkin mamey that didn't do good. It died for no reason, and that was right here. Now this is a potential spot for another tree, but There's two reasons why I'm not planting here. Number one is my wife wants a little bit of open canopy so I could have a play with my children and stuff, which I don't mind that idea. But my reason for not doing this, besides pleasing my wife, is my drain field's right there. That's why I have my garden. I plant my garden on top of my drain field. I raised it up a little because I wouldn't plant it right in the ground on top of the drain field, just because I don't want my garden vegetables getting the roots from the stuff I'm going to eat right on top of the drain field. So I raised the garden over the drain field. However, it's quite close to where my pumpkin mame was, and I don't want the roots to mess up with the drain field. I'm taking a chance on that jackfruit being close to it, but that's another reason why I'm not planting here. So, and I did once have a Gefner Adamoya here, and I took that out because it was blocking my path completely to get to my garden. So I had nowhere other room to go. Now, this tree here was my cherry tree, and it literally came out all the way to where my Gefner was. It was really completely wide. But as you can see, I top worked it. I cut it way back, and I'm top working it to an emerald tree. So that is going to be there. Originally, I had 1, 2, and 3 mangoes here. That's it. And that would have been fine. But I planted others. Now over here, this is kind of blocking my path a little, but more of an experiment. I have a jackfruit seedling to see how that comes out. And then I have a mango seedling, which goes up. And the mango seedling goes up. I still cut the top, again, just to see how it would turn out. When my cherry tree was there, there was absolutely no room here to walk at all. So you want to consider these things when you have your yard and in terms of walking around and what you're doing. Now, coming along here, there's some other changes that I've made just in general, that my observation over the years. Here's my papayas that are doing okay right now. I had a garden here last year, but this tree is doing wonderful. I'm excited about this. I had a super Haas avocado here that I took out because it wasn't ripening evenly. I wasn't happy with that, and I realized I planted too many avocados. So this one here is a red custard apple, which is something I found out about later when I had no space and I had to make more space. So speaking of mangoes, here's one for my lemon meringue tree. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And there's another one up there I'll be able to get today. All right, so over here, I have my orange sherbet tree. Again, it's a big tree. It's going to be big, and I'm going to try to leave it that size. But you can't keep cutting them back every year the way you think you're going to cut them back. So here is a persimmon tree. When I originally planted it, it looked like it was going to be enough space, but it's not enough space. So the persimmon tree is getting crowded out. I don't know how easy or difficult it is to move persimmon trees, but I'm definitely going to have a problem with those being too close. Behind that is I have a Lorito Mame. Thankfully, it's growing straight up and not too wide. And then I come around here. Such an important video for people to understand about this growing. Here, let me come over here. So this might be my next tree to go. It's hard to see with all the greenery here, but this white sapote tree. And the problem with white sapote is I have more than I need with the one tree that I planted. I'm going to insert a little clip here and show you the white sapote tree in a little while here and what's going on. But this can be a potential spot. On the other side of that tree, I have a cac, and there's some jackfruits. This originally was a Kent mango tree, but I found out that it gets a bacterial black spot pretty bad, so I took it out, and it was before I knew much about top working, so I could have top worked another mango there, but instead I found a spot for this white sapote tree. Nobody needs more than one white sapote tree. Let me come around here. I'm not going to get into all my trees today. I'm just going to show you what I've moved and what I've done here. Right now I'm standing between my 2 lemon meringue trees, and there's another one that's ripe, ready to pick. Beautiful. But here's a pumpkin mamey, a second one that I have, which I'm glad because the first one died. And that's a dwarf tree, so that one's a pretty good spot. But right there, that's definitely not going to work. It's loaded right now. It's a M4 mango, and it is loaded. It's looking beautiful. And if it could stay this size, it would be wonderful. But this is a perfect example of what this video is about. I have a Miami soursop tree there. I have my lemon meringue here. There's absolutely no room for that M4 to grow the way it should grow. So that's a tree I'm going to have to move or top work to something else. Not a good spot at all. And it looked like a good spot when I planted, but not a good spot at all. So for those of you that are advocates of planting close, it'll work for a little while, but eventually it won't. Coming back here, I have my Simmons avocado, which is doing really nice. Over there I have a black gold jackfruit. Again, those are way too close. If I can keep it this size, and the avocado you can cut back and they'll still get avocado, that's pretty cool. That jackfruit I'm going to have to cut back as well. So those can use some haircuts and do okay. You're just creating a lot of work for yourself when you do this high density gardening. Here is a tree here. Originally I had a lychee tree here. I'm glad I moved it because it would have been way too big in this spot. But I planted this Duncan tree that I'm converting over to a sunrise. Again, look how close to the lemon meringue. It's tight. It's tight. So some of these trees are going to have to go. Back here, I've played with the first. Originally, I had passion fruit. Then I had bananas, but now I have, and it's growing well. I'm excited. Red custard apple. Over here, I have another seedling jackfruit, which is going to grow right into those wires. So that's not good. I already cut it once. We'll see how that turns out. Here I have a Dupuis avocado. And then back here is my main white sapote tree. This is a Redlands white sapote. The other one was Homestead. I mentioned it wrong. The other one was Homestead. This is a Redlands. And this is, wow. But every year, I get more than I need. I just did another clip here the other day of just how many are on the floor and how many I get. And I'm going to insert it here and show you why I don't believe anyone should have more than one white sapote. And this is just crazy. Look at this. Every morning, look how many are on the floor that are ripe. Absolutely abundance. I'm freezing these, but I mean, wow. Have you ever seen so much fruit? Crazy. After getting crops like this every year, I don't need another tree that produces at the same time, even though it's different varieties, with a little different flavor. Look at the abundance. I mean, you see all these on the floor and you might be thinking, why would I let them go to waste on the floor? And the answer is, because I've already saved a bunch. I've already given out a bunch, and it's just too much. And I never thought I'd say that about a fruit. I mean, star fruit is similar to this, where you're just getting way more than you need. I've always said if I go past the house and I see people with fruit on the floor like this, I'm like, why do they let that go to waste? But it's so much and the tree is still loaded. So I think I'm going to take my other white sapotes out and use that space for something I need, because I don't have a big area. I need spots. And to get more white sapote than I already froze a bunch of this. I've given out a bunch of this and it's still loaded. Absolutely amazing, delicious fruit. I'll keep this tree. I'll cut it back a little. But I don't think I need any more. This is the Redlands white sapote. What an amazing fruit. Tastes excellent. And gives abundantly. Every year is like this. My neighbor has a tree bigger than this. They're all over the floor. I fill up a bucket. A big bucket. Every day. Either a 3-gallon, sometimes a 15-gallon bucket. It's just crazy. And there's still fruit on the tree. And here we are in July, mid-July. Right in the middle of mango season and jackfruit season. You just can't. Thankfully, I could freeze these. So I do recommend people get a white sapote tree, but like star fruit, you don't need more than one. All right, here, Rollinia. And this Rollinia tree has some fruit on it for the first time. It wasn't getting watered the way it should have, and a lot of the leaves started to fall off. But thankfully, we got some rains. The tree didn't die. And I got my first year of Rollinia fruit. I got a bunch on there. So hopefully, it'll be supported and it'll be just fine. Here, I had a Monroe avocado. I showed you guys in the past. When I first moved in, I actually had over here a lemon tree that was growing well. I wish I would have kept that. Then I had a Monroe avocado. I made videos about that. But now I have a China jackfruit here. Over here, I have in a pot a mango in a 44-gallon pot that cannot be moved. But it's was supposed to be a small dwarf ice cream mango, but it's not. So we'll take a guess of what that mislabel is. Over here, I had see, my original goal was 10 feet apart. Bam, 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 bam. And it's tough doing it that close. This is a top work. It was a winter Mexican avocado. Now it's top work to Campang avocado. And just because it's so close, I have one in a pot. I might plant somewhere else. I love that avocado. And here is one of the stars of my yard. This is a Home Depot seedling soursop tree, loaded every year. So that's looking real nice. Look at my watermelon, everyone. Look at that. Really taking off. So here I have a Catalina avocado. This one's another seedling. I've gotten rid of several seedlings of the soursops that didn't do anything. This one's a seedling. We'll see how it does. And then back here, I have a jackfruit. I cut my major jackfruit down. And that one is a Bangkok lemon that I put in. So this here is my lemon zest tree. And it looked like a nice little spot when I first planted it. Well, look at that taking over. And here's my sweet tart tree. So Blessedly so, this sweet chard tree is staying skinnier, but that lemon zest really widened up. When I originally planted this, I had a pineapple pleasure tree in the middle there. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? There's no way that that would have grown successfully. And then coming here, I have a sugarloaf tree. Now I had a anemonia in between here that I took out, and now it'll give this cactus tree enough space. Everybody, this is a tree that if you don't have a lot of space, I can no longer recommend. This is an ackee tree, and this is one quick growing tree. I'm gonna cut this back. I might even have to take it out. This tree grows really, really fast, so you need to be careful when growing an ackee tree. It really takes over. And the problem is too, is if you cut it back, you're not going to get a lot of fruit on it. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. All right, everybody, this is just my backyard. I have a front yard with a similar situation. I've been looking at my neighbor's yard and just looking at yards in general and seeing that people, when they get fruit trees, they just plant too close and they don't realize it. And later on, they're going to have to end up taking something out because things just get bigger. So that's choices people make. For more educational videos about mangoes and other fruits and how to grow fruit trees, please look out the other videos on this channel, Fruitful Trees, and also subscribe if you like, and also share these videos with others. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.